Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 32 of STK Surviving the Knicks. Surviving the Knicks. And boy, are these gentlemen truly surviving. Tonight, we got a great list of topics for you guys. But first, let's introduce the brothers. We got the man, the myth, the legend, coming on with his New York Knicks hat. He's representing proudly tonight. We got Ed Dollars.
Yes, sir.
Eddie Elms.
What up?
Eddie
I'm just
Elms.
living a dream. This is probably my favorite week of the basketball year. My favorite weeks of the basketball years are opening day, Christmas, championship, free agency.
Boom.
I'm excited.
Eddie M's. That's the thing we're going to start calling you, Eddie M's. All right, and then we got the man coming back from basketball tournaments in the Midwest. You know what I'm saying?
We're not going to talk about it.
We're not going to talk about it, but we got Coach B.
Let's talk about it as a basketball podcast, man. We got to talk about it.
Yes.
I don't want our ratings to go down.
I mean,
keep it friendly.
Yeah. Sometimes stuff happens, and the truth will not be heard. Not today.
Oh man, Coach B.
Adversity is what makes us.
Adversity is what makes us. Coach B in the building, y'all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so tonight we got a great show. Of course, I am Just.Hek. This is Surviving the Knicks. And tonight we're going to talk about the Knicks.
By the way, Just.Hek, nice beard.
Thank you.
You can't let that slide past our viewership.
Listen, man.
Because last week we just had a podcast and your beard was nowhere near that way. In 1 week, you grew like 2 inches there.
I bought the Harden kit off of Amazon. $44.99.
Yo, how long you going?
I'm going to ride it out.
You going to ride it out?
I'm going to ride it out.
You're not going to cut it?
I
dare you not to cut it for 1 year from now. If you don't cut it for 1 year, I will give you $100. $100? That's it? 200. I'll give you 200.
Listen,
you gotta legit have that beard out for 1 year. Like legit.
Man.
200 smackers.
Oh man. Anyhow.
Get groomed.
Big Task at hand. Welcome to the show. Thank you, Big Task, for the beard comments. Let's keep this going. Let's stay focused on the Knicks. And so tonight, let's talk about draft night. I need to hear you guys' thoughts on draft night. I was puzzled. I didn't know. I was trying to figure out let's keep it real. The NBA as a whole, all teams, this was a weird draft. You had maybe like some bench builders, maybe you had some talent that could be great later on, but there was some, the top five, and I wasn't sold on whether these guys could save a franchise or not. But when the Knicks came up, they drafted, I was puzzled, and I think it was the whole night of puzzles for the whole NBA, because it was like people were trying to make moves, and these draft picks were they weren't attractive. So, Ed, let's start with you. What were your thoughts on the night, on the draft night, the Knicks draft night? What were your thoughts?
I had I was very, very upset. And I'm afraid that something happened that's going to kind of be foreshadowing the rest of our season. A couple of years ago, the Knicks, drafted Kevin Knox, and we let go of Michael Porter Jr., right? And this year, we had an opportunity to draft a bunch of players, including AJ Griffin, who didn't, we had him. We could have had him,
yep.
But we punted the draft in its entirety, did some finagling, and got really nothing. Got future draft picks that will convey, maybe won't convey. They're like, some of them call it fake draft picks, because they're going to be so heavily protected that we won't probably get any access to it. All night long, you heard about possibly a deal between us and Sacramento trying to get our hands on Jaden Ivey. Then we pivoted. We tried to do a deal with the Pistons.
Yeah.
Turns out Sacramento punted on Ivy and drafted Keegan.
Yep.
And then the Pistons drafted Ivy. And ironically, and I don't know if you guys saw it on ESPN, but it was a really nice homecoming for him because his entire family has Detroit roots. His mother played for the Shock. His father played football. Like his cousin played in Detroit or something like that. His grandfather played over there. So they gave him every jersey associated with his family and Detroit, which I thought was dope. And I think he's going to be a really good guard. But the one that really kind of, bothers me is AJ Griffin. AJ Griffin is another New York player, went to Stepanak. We know his dad played in the NBA. So he's good. He comes from good stock. He's a New York, New Jersey resident. We had this guy. How many times over our history have we not drafted that New York, New Jersey presence and them have a great career? Ron Artest.
Mitchell.
Ron Artest, Donovan Mitchell. Watch AJ Griffin be one of the stars of this draft. It may be a weak draft, but I'm not sure. And you know what? And the thing that really, really bothers me is, why are we trying to outsmart ourselves? Why don't we just draft like a normal team? We're not that good. We didn't make the playoffs. Why are we drafting like we're like the Golden State Warriors? Yeah. We did not make the play. We didn't even make the play-in. Yeah. We got to draft for our future. I just don't get it.
True. Very true. Coach B, he had some words.
AJ Griffin, very good, not great. Like to me,
but no one was in this draft though.
To me, he's like somewhere between the lines of like Michael Kidd Gilchrist. It's like,
okay,
you really want that?
He's better than Michael Kidd. Michael Kidd Gilchrist couldn't shoot. This guy's a shooting guard. He's a 40% 3-point shooter in college.
He's
Michael Gilchrist.
Yeah, he's 6'6", 230. Like probably like could be like more defend multiple positions, but I don't see his jump shot translating that well. Personally,
he's a 40% 3-point shooter in college.
In the college line.
Okay, but
that's a big deal.
Pro line, not against pro defensives. They play a lot of zone in college. Well, I do think that doing nothing was still our best option. Like you don't get the guy that you want, which was Jaden Ivey. You hang tight. You hold on to what you have. Like we all know, like the position that we were targeting was point guard. So why grab another wing? Like you still got Cam on the roster. You still got Fournier on the roster. You still got Quentin Grimes on the roster, who are all serviceable. Like, are we gonna dump them?
We're not good. Are
we gonna dump them to make room for someone that might not pan out? Like
we could dump Noel. We could dump a bunch of
Taj
Gibson.
Then bringing
Taj Gibson
Griffin into a logjam where he probably won't play. Like Cam Reddish doesn't play, and Cam Reddish has way more talent than AJ Griffin. Personally,
I don't know about that.
And he got yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I think we're grading AJ Griffin a little too high.
Yeah, it's okay.
It was good. It was good. But I think you could have went with. I mean, they could have got Jalen Durden. I thought
he's another one.
Could have gotten
Mark
Williams. No, but
we got
Malachi Branham. All these guys were like projected to be like 7, 8, and they kind of went into the teens.
Yeah.
Nothing is better than reaching. So more importantly, you save cap space, right?
Oh,
and then are we gonna jump to the next segment? Because I think like outside of Jaden Ivey, people were talking about Shaedon Sharpe, but again, not playing in a year makes me nervous. But we'll see because Anthony Simons kind of like something similar.
Shaedon Sharpe went where he was supposed to go. He was out of reach. I didn't think the Knicks had a chance at him. Most of the guys, the one guy that surprised me was probably Keegan Murray. He really jumped up in the draft.
I
think I see both sides. I think you could have strengthened your bench, but you know what I'm saying. You could have strengthened the bench, But that's not who the Knicks really wanted. They wanted Jaden Ivey. So why not wait? Why not just trade it away? I mean, they actually drafted Osman for Oklahoma City anyway, so they got what they traded him for 3 draft picks.
Yep.
Yeah, 3 draft picks that won't ever convey. 2 of them were like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mikey Williams before.
Yeah. I mean, that kid, I don't know if he would have made it in New York anyway. So, I mean,
Probably not.
But he's going to Oklahoma. He's going to Oklahoma. Who's going to actually play him?
That's true.
He's probably better off.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think
my thing is you got to do something. You can't do nothing, you know, and we could have got rid of cap space without punting on our draft pick. Good teams draft. Golden State drafted.
We did,
you know what I'm saying? Like good teams draft players.
They got actually Patrick Baldwin, who dropped. I mean, Patrick Baldwin last year was a top 10 pick. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but I mean that might be
hurt, inconsistent play.
Yeah.
AJ Griffin went to Atlanta, and Atlanta only has wings. I mean, you just draft the best available player, and then you start trading people. Yeah. You just don't punt. That's like ridiculous. And you know what? It's not just me killing the Knicks on it. It's everybody.
Everybody.
The Knicks universe killed them.
Everybody isn't always right.
Honestly, though, this was a tough draft because you had guys. I mean, literally, I feel like everybody in this draft just picked the best available player. Did Minnesota need Walker Kessler? No. I mean, there's a bunch of guys. Marjon Bootcamp.
Oh, you know what? Really Marjon Bootcamp, I got to tell you that guy is the darling of the draft because my man went to community college and based on community college got a shot at the G League and then killed it in the G League and now he's drafted. His story is like that's probably the first time in American history that a player went that route. He Played for Lehman Community College.
Sean Kemp. Huh? Sean Kemp went to community college.
Sean Kemp graduated. He left high school, right? Didn't he just go from high school to NBA?
He went to community college.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. So it happens. I mean, it's Sean Kemp, but this is before news media coverage and all this stuff. But no, definitely. I'm just saying, like, this was a tough draft because there wasn't a lot of home run swings in this draft. It really wasn't any in my opinion. I think everybody kind of got what they wanted. I think after the top maybe 6 or 7, Ben Math probably gonna be the player I watch the most next year because he was like, LeBron got to show me that he's that good.
He's not that good.
That poor kid.
LeBron's gonna kill him. LeBron's gonna kill him. In fact, LeBron said it on Twitter. He was like, "Yo, I'm gonna kill that guy.
Yeah, like
I don't have to show nobody how good I am."
LeBron literally
I'm
has
LeBron James.
50 pounds on you, son. Like it's crazy. I was like, okay, sure, but I mean, it's a tough draft. Honestly, you guys tell me. Looking at this draft,
I like Johnny Davis.
Okay, he worked his butt off to improve his draft standing, but. I mean, literally, did you really think? What do you think? Who do you think is going to be the rookie of the year? Let's go off that. Who do you think is the rookie of the year?
I think Paolo is going to be rookie. I think he's going to play a lot.
He's probably the most polished.
Although Orlando has to trade people because they're very power forward center heavy in that team.
Yeah, but it's like they also got like Suggs, Cole Anthony, guys that want to shoot the ball. So is he gonna have room to like go off? Like,
no, he won't. But he is the most polished. 6'10".
Yeah, he's the most polished. Chet Holmgren is good, but
the guy with the most easy baskets. Honestly, yeah, it's probably gonna be Jaden Ivey. Like he's gonna free range to run. He's not gonna have to run point all that much, and like him as a slasher is gonna be crazy.
I don't know. They kind of reached for Jaden Ivey because they got the Pistons. They got the best available player, and the Pistons already have Cade, and they have the other French point guard,
Killian Hayes.
So Killian is probably going to come off the bench.
No, I mean it depends on how the draft camp goes. I mean, not the draft camp,
Because Jaden is
preseason
probably
camp.
going to start.
Because but it all depends. Because you come into the league, you got guys with a year or two already over you. Is Jaden Ivey that good? Are we saying that he's that good?
We'll find out.
I mean, he was good at Purdue.
Yeah. To start from day one, yes. In Detroit, yes.
So he's starting over who?
Over Killian Hayes.
And so,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I think you guys are now. Look, Killian Hayes had a decent.
I hear you, but Jaden is too freakishly athletic.
Plus, he plays a double position. He plays shooting guard, and while Cade Cunningham can be the primary point guard, Killian is a little on the smaller side, so he'll be the backup.
Yeah, this rookie of the year junior is going to be like somebody averaging like 12, 14 points.
Yeah,
rebounds.
And them picking Jaden is probably an indictment on Killian Hayes. They probably don't think that he has much upside anymore.
Or like you said earlier, you just draft the best player and you load your team up with talent.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with having a great 4-star draft pick coming off the bench.
Right. Or you just punt the whole pick into society because you think you're so smart and you want to save cap space. For the hypothetical player that's never gonna go. Because you're getting a super duper star. Because you haven't gotten one in 25 years, but all right.
But this is a good segue because, I mean, the draft, the Knicks, I guess, did whatever they could. Shout out to Trevor Keels. Welcome to New York, my brother. Wish you luck. Do them suicide drills or else you're never going to play.
In the G League.
You're never going to see him.
I'm excited to see him because I'll be going to Westchester Knicks all the time now. Yo, we should do a segment. Yo, I'm gonna take you guys to Westchester. My treat.
I want to go.
No Wall Street. Wall Street's not here. The deal's not for him. As long as you keep that beard's gotta be up until next year.
So segue to free agency. Obviously, the Knicks are when free agency starts with July 5th, right?
Tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow. Ooh.
Tomorrow.
So the Knicks.
No. Thursday.
Friday. Tomorrow's Thursday. Friday.
Oh yeah, Friday.
1st. So July 1st marks the beginning of free agency. The Knicks have already cleared cap space. They traded Noel and Alec Burks away to free up space to sign.
They got rid of Kemba in this whole draft debacle.
Detroit, right? They got rid of him. So they're hoping to sign Jalen Brunson. Supposedly it's worth $100+ million for 4 years.
Yeah, 110 over 4, allegedly.
Coach, what are your thoughts on this signing and what do you think? What are your thoughts on this signing and who do you think the Knicks should also get?
Jalen Brunson is the most, I guess, complete guard the Knicks have had in a while. Like from his time at Villanova, he was just a tremendous leader. And like, even though he didn't win like that most outstanding player when DiVincenzo won it, he was still like a catalyst for that Villanova team. So like, I've been a big fan of his game, and I think like it's a great fit for what we want to do here. He's tough, he's gritty, he wants to play on both ends. He's a good shooter off the catch. He's a very team-oriented guy. He likes to be a glue guy. So he does a lot of things well. And if you can play alongside Luka, who wants to dominate the ball, you can play alongside these guys who also want to dominate the ball and like be effective. So like I'm sold on Brunson. If we could sign anyone else, if we're not gonna keep Cam, then we need a win that's gonna, just defend and be gritty and go after it. It's a tough call because they want to dump a lot of guys, and it's like you already got rid of Noels and Burke, so like hang tight because you can't just reshape the whole team and expect to be successful. At the very least, keep the starters. If we could find a wing out there for cheap, cool, and bring back Mitch and Jericho. I said we got a good situation there.
Yeah, on Jericho, Mitch, you guys need to let that go. You need to let that go.
You gotta have a one.
I think you could get. I'll wait for my turn, but sure. Okay, definitely. Come on, Eddie M's. What you got?
All right, so I agree with Coach. Brunson's a hell of a player, and it's probably the first time in the last 30 years that we actually have a competent point guard. It's a tremendous loss for Dallas. Dallas really lost, and it's ironic how the value of people can change overnight. Dallas had an offer, and then they pulled the offer, and it was for 4 years, $55 million. They had it outstanding, and Rick's Jalen's dad is Rick Brunson, and Rick told Dallas, he was like, "Hey, listen, if you offer it in January, we'll take it." And they never offered it because they thought that they were going to be they may do a big trade. So overnight, over that year, Jalen's Brunson basically doubled his value. So kudos for Jalen. All right. He'll probably get 4 years, 110 from the Knicks. He'll be the starting point guard for the New York Knicks under Tibbs, which means a lot, right? What does that really mean? What are we going to do with Rose? Rose will come off the bench, or he shouldn't be on a team. What specifically is going to happen to Quickly? Quickly's got to play. Does this push Quickly in his time off the charts? Because he is definitely a player in this league. Tells me that they have to trade Rose to a different team. My biggest fears is, damn, man, we're paying $28 million for a player that isn't a top 50 player, right? He's not a top 50 player, but if you look at the numbers, his salary would be the 15th or 14th highest point guard in the league. So is he the 15th best point guard in the league? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. He's a lefty. He's very crafty, but on our team, we got 3 lefty starting members. We got him, we got RJ, we got Julius Randle. All those guys kind of operate well in the paint. And although Brunson can actually shoot lights out because he played off of Luka, he did his best when he had the ball in his hands and he was kind of narrating the offense. I don't know what that means for Julius. I don't know what that means for RJ. So you got 3 left-handed players. We have 3 players that like to have the ball in their hands. We don't have enough shooting, and and he's not tall. He's only 6'1", so he's an undersized guard. I'm hoping that he's more Van Vliet than anything else. If he is that, then I'll be very, very happy. Back to Coach's point, Dallas wouldn't have gone to the Western Conference Finals without him. He was a killer. He scored 41 and 35 in 2 respective playoff games. He was one of the main catalysts. He was the second scoring leader on that team. Big loss for Dallas. I welcome it. I was kind of complaining about the cost because it is a lot. $28 million for a player that's not really proven, that was really worth $14 million 5 months ago. But, let's see what happens. I'm happy that we got a starting point guard, but I'm sad for Derrick Rose, and I'm sad for Quickly if Quickly's the one that loses time.
Yeah, Derrick Rose is old. Van Vliet's about to get 120. He got 85 the last time around. Freaking Lonzo Ball just got 85, 87, and he's not even playing. I think
James. I know, man. They throwing money around like is candy. But the biggest thing is, for the Knicks, there's a salary cap, right? And we're playing players starting money when they might be the 3rd or 4th best player on a championship team. Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, maybe RJ,
or 3rd or 4th best on just a good team.
But they're starting on your team.
So what does that mean for our team? That doesn't mean that makes us.
Your team, you pay them starter money.
I agree. But are we making the playoffs next year?
Yes.
No.
Seriously?
Can we make the playoffs with Jalen Brunson next year?
Yes.
I don't know, man. East is
Consistency,
tall.
consistency at point doesn't make us a better team after winning 37 games. Consistency at point is easy 5 to 10 more games.
Does that make us in a that places us in the playoffs? I'm not
40,
sure.
42 to 45 wins, yes.
The 8th seed got what last year? Look that up.
Sheesh. Let's look it up.
That puts us in a play-in.
Yeah.
Could we make the playoffs
Good enough.
as the 8th seed? So we have to pay $110 million to get in as an 8th seed.
No,
right?
we're gonna dump Derrick Rose. Who else got
So the
like dump for 1 year?
the lowest teams had 43 wins in the East. That was Atlanta and Charlotte.
We're in a play-in.
Okay, we can beat them. We beat Atlanta and Charlotte.
I don't know. So Atlanta just got DeJounte Murray.
Atlanta's gonna be way better next year.
They got AJ Griffin.
They're still trying to trade John Collins. They're a mess.
But I mean it's to upgrade because in truth, I mean, listen.
Who are they gonna get? That's an upgrade from John Collins.
I mean, I don't know, but you got to figure something out. You can't stay stagnant. It didn't work, and it's like it's. What are you gonna do? Are you just winning games just to make the playoffs? Are you trying to win a championship? And you got a guy.
Development is key.
Maybe, or maybe they see something that we don't, and maybe it's just like, you know what? Maybe John Collins just isn't that guy.
I think with Jalen Brunson, we're gonna be an undersized team too, man.
Man.
Julius Randle is an undersized power forward. Jalen Brunson is an undersized point guard. RJ is an undersized 3.
He's tough. I don't.
And by the way, we are resigning Mitch.
That Jalen Brunson
4 years, $60 million.
Who?
4 years, $60 million. Mitch.
Oh, and
Just starter.
That
You know what you're missing? Sims on a rookie deal. Quentin Grimes on a rookie deal. Quickly, almost out of time, but still, on a respectable contract. We got those rotation guys. Obi on a rookie deal.
We're about to give RJ the bag. He's about to get 150 over 4 or 5 or some shit like that.
We got time though. We don't got to do it today. We got time.
You got to do it this year. You got to do it now.
After free agency, let's shore up some things. RJ gets whatever he wants, and then by the time that starts, we'll figure out where to cut costs. Julius Randle.
And again, I'm not hating on the Brunson deal. I like him as a player. I'm just wondering, is this it? This is our big. This is it. This is our guy. This is the main guy. All these years,
problem, Stephen A.
25 years, no point guard. Jalen Brunson's the point guard.
This is your problem, Stephen A.
All these years,
Stephen A. You want things that like technically aren't realistic. Allegedly, the Spurs wanted 4 picks. Like, you really was really willing to go that far? Like,
we should have for DeAndre.
Okay, fine. You get a guy that stuffed the stat sheet, right? But how is he gonna fit in? I know Jalen Brunson's gonna fit in.
He is gonna fit in. You're right.
Come on, take it easy. Like us as Knicks fans, a lot of the guys on the Twitterverse and on social media gotta take it easy. Stephen A is fucking clickbait. I hate it. Everything he says, like trash.
Yeah.
No, but all right. I'm not trying to be clickbait, but he is undersized. He is a lefty. We got. But
no one says, yo, Jalen Brunson. That's
this isn't baseball.
I love going against
This isn't baseball.
3 lefties? Yo, you ever seen a team with 3 lefties?
Doesn't matter.
That's crazy. I've never seen a team like that.
If anything, you got 3 alternative thinkers.
As long as the ball goes in.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, this isn't a pitching rotation. Like it's.
We got to look at that. You know what? I'm gonna find the statistics of the most left-handed starting members of a team and how that team fared.
Do that homework.
I was hoping. Listen, I think Colin Sexton should be on the list. Tough kid.
He's another one, man. He's like he's like your height.
Not with that hair. Like 6'7" with that hair.
Without the beard.
I was just saying, he's a tough, gritty kid. The kid can play.
Shoot.
Here's the point, man. You can't.
Bamba. Got to bring Bamba back home. Bring Bamba back to New York.
We're signing Mitch, man. We signed
Yeah,
him.
I know that's not gonna happen at all now.
Yo, Mo shot 38% from three. Sneakily,
Harlem's own, man.
sneakily.
I don't know.
What high school you go to?
Oh man,
He's from Harlem.
Yeah, it's a fact.
He went to like boarding school or something.
Yeah.
Maybe a school in Indianapolis.
Do you guys think? Do you guys think that's a low blow, Ed? That's a low blow. But do you guys think there's a shot? Like, would you go after Beal if that was a thing? If it could be a thing?
Yeah, of course. Why not?
That means you gotta.
We could, right? We could offer him. Could it be? I don't even think we could now, unless we don't offer Jalen Brunson anything.
Yeah.
Would you rather go after Jalen Brunson or Beal?
Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal.
Yeah, Bradley Beal. Yeah.
Right. He's a free agent. We just got to give him $45 million a year.
Bradley Beal, like,
listen,
from what you see from him, like on social media, like he's gonna stay loyal. You know, he just wants to make a contract. And he's gonna ride it out.
I mean, he might, but you never know. I mean, greener pastures, man.
Yeah, you always want to get the bag. I have to tell you guys about my Bradley Beal story in DR.
Yeah, he did. He grilled you.
He grilled me, gave me that look like, yo, don't stop talking to me right now. I was like, and every time we walked around the same, you know, when you get your luggage and you go around the bin, go around the steel. He was right next to. Every time he looked at me like, yo, I'm gonna fuck you up. And I had my daughter on my shoulder. I was like, hey, Mr. Beal. He was like, shut up, bro. I'm tired of you now. All because I was like, oh, I'm glad you didn't make the All-Star game because my man Melo made the All-Star game. He was so heated. I was like, yo, by the way, why are you on this public bus? He was on a public bus with us. You're making like $30 million. Why are you on the public bus?
He was following you.
Cost effective.
He's gonna assassinate you. He's gonna be.
He tagged me.
Shout out to Bradley Beal, right? What team do you guys think Bradley Beal lands with?
I don't think there's a lot of teams out there.
Oh, he could probably go to Miami. They could do a sign and trade.
That's a great fit for him.
And Heron.
Hero. Ty Hero.
Yeah, Hero with whoever.
Duncan.
And you know, Washington would take it, right? Because Hero's a good asset, a bunch of draft picks, and then Miami has their legit 3.
Oh yeah, and they would be tough, man.
Oh, they would be tough.
Kyle Lowry
too. I mean, yeah, they would be.
Kyle Lowry's old, man.
Yeah, the injury, he got bit by the injury bug bad, and it didn't help. You know, I think the older you get, your flaws have just become more exposed, and he can't shoot anymore. It's hard for him to play defense because he was hurt. You know, hopefully he bounces back. And
Harden opted out of his contract too, with the hopes of renegotiating a long-term deal. So technically speaking, if Philly doesn't sign him, he can go to another team too. Yeah. He can go to Miami. He can go anywhere.
The rumor was that he was going to sign a cap-friendly deal so that the 76ers could make moves to upgrade the roster a little bit.
I would have done that next year. He should have opted in into his $47 million option.
That's what Westbrook did.
Of course, why wouldn't he? Yo, he's getting such a bad rap, right? They have blamed the entire season on him. Yeah, the Lakers are messed up, man. First of all, they signed him. They traded for him. They traded all those assets for him. He is who we thought he was. He's the same Westbrook as a year prior, same stats. It's just he's inefficient.
Well, he was better the year before, but we were talking about it when they traded for him. I remember us talking about how he needs the ball in his hand. If you're on a team with LeBron, who's gonna have the ball in their hands the most? So LeBron James.
That's the GM. GM messed up.
And he can't operate off the ball like that. I mean, if he was, I don't know. I guess you got to try to make that adjustment, but he was just unwilling to do it, and that's why a lot of the blame got pushed on him. Because, I mean, he's so good. He could have been so good off the ball, slashing, cutting, but he didn't want to defer. He didn't want, and then also the injury to Band-Aid Man over there. Yo.
Does he ever leave LA? Do you think like
Who?
Anthony Davis ever just leave LA? Or is this his last stop?
Nah, he won't be. They'll trade him. He'll get old and riddled with injury.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big guy. But he looks a little soft, right? He probably doesn't work on his body the way he should. And the LeBron effect didn't really rub off on him. You got to work on your body, man. Yeah. Especially if you're playing with a specimen like LeBron. LeBron is who he is, number one, because of his skill. Number two, his IQ. And number three, the care to his craft and his body. He spends millions upon millions of dollars. He's like 38 and still like one of the most physically imposing players in the NBA. Anthony Davis looks like the doughboy out there. You know what I'm saying? Always breaking his ankles, like always getting hurt every other minute. You got to put the work in, Anthony.
Yeah. I think that was an issue that we as a group spoke about when they were going to trade for Anthony Davis. Would his body hold up? Because if it didn't, then that would spell trouble for the Lakers. And it held up for a little while. I think the season, that truncated season, during COVID and then coming right back to play again didn't help. Then he didn't get the rest. And I mean, Anthony Davis has never been known to keep himself healthy. So that's what it is. What did you guys? I'm asking you guys this just because I know Ed is gonna go off. We're gonna start with you, Coach. What did you think of the Kyrie saga? There's always a Kyrie saga. He's got more sagas than Marvel. Like this, just he's his own MCU. Like there's always a Kyrie saga with this dude. But Coach, what did you think of the latest?
Kyrie the player, man? Like I like. Love his game, love what he could do out there. But this, I gotta tune this shit out. I don't need that kind of negativity. Like just like all of it is, it's a shame, man. He's destroying franchises, and well.
Thank you for saying that, because I got attacked for saying that. It was just like, oh no, that's not true, and I'm like. But look what he's done since
he's the reason why they think players have too much power.
Yep.
He's a CBA killer. Him and your man that you really wanted on the Knicks. And that's on Brooklyn as well. 2 CBA killers.
And my man is the player rep. Come on, man. When they had the bubble, he was campaigning for them not to go in the bubble.
Yeah.
He didn't play. All right. Number one, we always talk about you got to keep the main thing. You're a basketball player. You're a genius on the basketball court. I also echo Coach's thoughts on that. He is one of my favorite players when he is playing. His handle will go down. He probably has the greatest handle of all time. His handle is ridiculous. I've never seen players do what he does. And for him being 6'2", 6'1", he's one of the best players at his height, the most wicked crossover, the most wicked handle I've ever seen. But his judgment is off because it is basketball entertainment. He is a basketball player. They do pay him to play games. We had a couple of special events in the last couple of years. We had COVID, and a little bit of me doesn't fault him, right? Because he kind of fought for his principles, and that's cool, but he's still a basketball player. And then we had the BLM versus all this other stuff. And again, I can't fault him on that. He was one of the representatives out in the front lines protesting, which is great, but he still should have played. You know what I'm saying? And then lastly, it's the fact that he's so empowered that he doesn't think he can be coached, that he thinks he runs the team, that Kevin Durant, one of the greatest players of our lifetime, chose to leave Stephen Curry the guy you have in your background, to follow Kyrie Irving, that his judgment is like a flat earth. You know what I'm saying? It's off. So it's a shame. And you know, and the real shame of it all is you had Kevin Durant, you had Kyrie Irving, you had Harden on the Brooklyn Nets, and they didn't do anything. This will be his KD's 4th year. He's entering his 4th year with the Nets, and they haven't done anything. They had one playoff win, one playoff, you know, a first round win, and they went to the second round. That's it. In 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And then Kyrie expected $250 million from the Nets. You only played like 50 games for the Nets, 60 tops. You only played 15 or 16 games with KD. Your judgments, you took vacations during the season talking about this is basketball. I'm not about that right now. You know, that's what you get paid for. That's what they rely on. So, and you know what the funny thing of all that is? If I was the Knicks, I would have signed him.
What? Yo.
With all that, with everything I just said, as a Knicks, I would have signed him.
Are you nuts?
But
I don't know. That's a time
because of his basketball skill. The man's one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
Listen,
if he could play basketball for the New York Knicks, I would have signed him.
I can't play anymore. Jesus Christ. Yo, mute that man. Jesus.
I would have signed him. Not for like $250 million. I'm talking about when he was at one point considering opting out of his $37 million contract and signing a $6 million contract with the Lakers. I'm saying sign him right there. That's what I mean. I'm not saying give him $250 million.
Okay.
Give him $100 million.
Coach, I got nothing. Thank God he's not the GM because this guy's crazy. This guy's crazy. I think the funny thing is that there's always a funny thing with Kyrie Irving. We say this all the time. You know what the funny thing is? Do you know what the funny thing is? You know what the funny thing is? Like I'm gonna go back to the last like 6 shows and see how many times we said that. I'm gonna make a clip just of that of us saying, yo, you know the funny thing with Kyrie is? We say that shit all the time. This dude is nuts.
He's crazy.
Listen,
he's still crazy.
Yeah, I mean.
Wish him well.
It's crazy. Like, you know, and the craziest part of it all, you know, like, still, like, you know what the funny thing is? The Nets with him going back, re-upping, are still a threat in the East. Like, because when he's focused, there's very few dudes that could touch him, that could defend him, especially with today's defense. You can't touch this guy. He's a problem. He's a problem. Huh?
He's gonna stop himself.
Yeah,
he'll ask for a trade. He'll do something stupid.
He always does. That's what I'm saying.
Him and KD will have a fight.
They'll get to Milwaukee. They'll get to Miami. They'll get to Boston, and then it'll be the same story all over again. Well, we're doing it again.
I feel bad for Dame Lillard. This is the 5th off season where he shot his shot.
No, he got Grant from Detroit.
Who? I love Jeremy Grant. I love Jeremy Grant, but
he got Grant.
He's not that guy.
Who? Horace Grant. You got Horace Grant. You got Harvey Grant. You got Harvey Grant's son. You got Harvey Grant's son. That's crazy.
His dad.
If Anthony Simons, right?
I think he's nice. I would have signed Anthony Simons over Brunson.
No. This athletic scoring guard thing, like it sounds great in theory, but look who's your coach. Look who's your coach. Like that was my fear with bringing in Jaden Ivey. Tips would ruin him.
Yeah.
Coaches come and coaches go, man.
Yeah.
Well, he's still getting
the second Leon Rose realizes that
that's what I'm focused on.
He can't ride with Tibbs. He's got to let him go.
Definitely having Anthony Simons, KD, Grant, and Sharp. Sharp might have enough room to elevate himself into that early rookie of the year.
Did you say KD? Who's KD?
Jeremy Grant. And then
Clearview said.
Sharp has enough room to
Clearview said. He said who?
win Rookie of the
You
Year.
said Jeremy Grant.
Yeah.
Not Jeremy Grant. What are we talking about? Oh my God, that's gotta be
18 and 7 maybe, but definitely. Honestly, they should go after Miles Bridges at this point. Just swing for the fences. But like Shaden Sharp has enough room if he could get into the rotation to win Rookie of the Year because you know the spot open up.
MJ messed up, man. He should have offered him $100 million over 4 years. Now he's gonna have to offer him like $180 million over 5. You know
what are we talking about?
Miles Bridges.
Probably, yeah. But
he messed up.
The thing with Charlotte is
for 20 points and 7 rebounds per game, he's getting $185 million.
Jalen Brunson's getting 110 for like 16 and 5.
Yeah,
less than 5.
But he made it deep in the playoffs.
But
in the playoffs.
I don't know. I mean,
listen, Jalen Brunson is going to be a favorite player by the end of next season.
No, he will. He will be. He will be
because he can play. I think the coach
just so short.
It goes back to the coach.
You're not that tall.
NOD.
You're not that tall.
We can go over here and talk about all the analytics and all this stuff, but it's Tibbs at the end of the day. That's what I said. If you don't hit those wind sprints, we're not gonna see you. He's gonna be vacationing somewhere because he's not gonna play. You better listen. Whatever Tibbs,
he's playing.
Doing.
Yes.
Brunson's playing.
Yeah.
If we give him $110 million, he's playing. If he's not playing, Tibbs is out.
Yes. I mean, he should already be gone.
3 Tibbs of his contract.
Right? 3 Tibbs of his contract.
Maybe he'll free Obi. I can see Obi being a better player with Brunson.
Yeah.
Because
Brunson
Julius doesn't fit the whole Brunson RJ thing.
Julius is in the best shape of his life. Okay.
For what?
He's trying to keep Obi out of his spot.
He can't do what Obi does.
Running the floor like a madman. You know,
Obi needs to come into train camp with 15 more pounds of muscle.
No. Don't pull a Mitch. Don't pull a Mitch. Just be yourself.
Yeah. That didn't work out.
Be stronger. Be a little stronger.
That didn't work out. Obi's
gonna space the floor, man. Obi at the 3. Wait, Wall Street. Where you at?
Where's Wall Street?
At the 3.
Yeah.
Obi at the 3.
DiVincenzo opted out too. DiVincenzo's a free agent from Sacramento.
I mean,
Portis is a free agent from the Bucks.
Portis is gonna get some money.
Yeah.
Not from the Knicks, but yeah.
He's gonna get some money. Zach LaVine. No interest in Zach LaVine?
Can't get him. They think you're gonna get him.
Resign him.
Yeah. If I'm Zach LaVine,
we can get anybody as long as we don't. If we get Brunson, we can't get nobody. But if we wanted those
Zach
guys,
LaVine on the Knicks, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Spectrum would raise the cable costs.
Yo, walk man. Sign Jalen Brunson or trade for D'Angelo Russell.
Oh man.
Or serious?
Or DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton's available.
Yo.
Yeah.
Not Ayton.
Mitch could be better than DeAndre Ayton.
Never.
I think so.
Never. DeAndre Ayton can shoot.
He can't shoot. You're right. But Mitch is a better defensive presence, and he could be.
Yes,
it depends on what your goals are. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of shooters.
Our goals are not to be like DeAndre Ayton because he's soft.
Yeah. No, he is soft. The Suns are about to trade him. They're talking about trading him to the Nets. That's one of the rumors that he might go to the Nets.
I gotta tell you, if you lose DeAndre Ayton, it's gonna be a problem. Man.
We're gonna be. Listen,
we're gonna be better.
It's gonna be better.
And we might be the middle of the pack team, but I don't think it really matters because we weren't gonna go nowhere without DeAndre Ayton.
At least they'll be able to get out and run more without having to worry about having him on the floor. Like, we're gonna be better.
I mean,
which is kind of weird. He should be able to be a gazelle out there.
Yeah,
but the problem is he's staying up to 6 a.m. playing video games and not working on his game. He is
21.
Follow him on Twitch?
No, so it was funny because it was like 2 months ago, they talked about DeAndre Ayton on ESPN. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me go to the app and read the article. You know, is it about his skill set? Is it about his aspirations? It's about him fucking playing video games, and he's a gamer. Like, that's the worst thing you want to be on ESPN talking about. Like, you're not an esports guy. Like, you've been playing real basketball. Like,
As Bronny James all of a sudden.
No, the worst thing is drunk driving and speeding, but I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I mean, you could group that in there too, or the steroids that he got caught taking, or I mean, it's just this dude is just not. He's
not mature.
He's gonna be paid to be big. He's gonna be paid to be big for a long time. And shout out to him because it is what it is. But he's not a championship guy. I don't see it. He makes me really hate the Suns management for not drafting Doncic, who killed us in the playoffs.
What I didn't like about DeAndre Ayton was the fact that he pouted in that game 7. And that was like critical. And then Monty Williams was trying to coach, and DeAndre was like, just being a
jerk about it.
Rat.
He's being a jerk. I mean, it is what it is. I wish him well, but this ain't something that I'm not gonna miss him. I was big on him for like 2 seasons, and then as I saw like the last 2 seasons, I was just like, I'm not this kid. He ain't got it. He don't have the mentality that's needed to really go to the next level. He just doesn't have it. You know what I'm saying? You need a mean streak. You need to, and he
Valanciunas was bullying him on the board.
Yeah. That was what was really bugging me out about the Pelicans. I was just like, dude, like, he's supposed to be the most dominant big man on the floor, and Valanciunas, dude, and he wasn't the only one. That whole front line was bullying him. Like, it was just to the point that Miles Bridges, who's 200 pounds, had to get in there. Not Miles Bridges. Mike. Yeah, like, he had to get in there and fight for rebounds, and Jay Crowder had to get tough. And it's like, dude, you're the anchor. You're supposed to be the anchor of the defense. But nah, I'm good. We'll be all right. Suns will be all right.
Yeah, let it out, Just.Hek. Let it out.
We'll be all right. Listen, shout out to the Suns, man.
Great.
I hope they pull off a great signing trade for him, man.
Listen, Otto Porter Jr.'s out there. I think he'd be a great
Find out tomorrow.
Otto Porter.
He's a champion, so he's expensive, but he's out there.
Yeah, for a signing trade, I think we're good. Listen, it is what it is. Listen, I would trade him to the Knicks. I would take Mitchell Robinson.
No. Keep that away.
I'd take Mitchell.
Have Jericho.
Because he would thrive in Phoenix.
You can have Jericho.
Listen, we got one more good year left in Chris Paul. Make the most of it.
Oh, for real.
Here's a fun fact for you guys. Now that we traded Noel and Kemba and those guys, the only player on the Knicks and Alex Burks, shout out to Burks.
Shout out to Burks.
The only player on the Knicks that's 25 or older is Randall.
Wait, why are we shouting out Alec Burks? I know why I'm shouting out Alec
I like Burks.
Gosh,
what? No.
I don't like Burks as a starting point guard. I like Burks.
Oh, okay.
That's Tip's fault. Burks is a perfect 2 or 3. I don't know why he made him the starting point guard for like 30 games. That's ridiculous. Alex Burks. What's wrong with Tibbs?
All right, fine. You scared me a little bit, but you got it.
But he when we made our run to the 4th seed, he was one of those guys. He was a player. Mm-hmm. But I felt like we could have traded him for something. We didn't trade him for nothing, but okay.
Yeah.
Dump him.
Got cap space.
We traded him for the right to pay Brunson $110 million.
Who will be your favorite player by the end of the season?
Or
as long as Just.Hek keeps that beard for the whole year.
Or Tibbs will talk Rick Brunson out of retirement, and then Rick Brunson will take Jalen Brunson's time. Because
playing like 40 minutes at the moment.
Right.
Shout out Tibbs.
Shout out to Tibbs getting fired, hopefully.
Gotta have an open.
Shout out.
Oh man, fellas, any last thoughts before we sign out of here?
Trevor Kill might not play for the whole year, but good luck in the G League, of course. Free Deuce. I know it doesn't seem bright right now, but we're gonna find minutes for you quick. You'll be fine. Definitely once they move another wing, you'll play a lot of 2-1 like you did the last 2 years. And RJ, 23 points per game. It starts now. Get your offseason workouts in. 23 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists.
Okay.
I second that, man. The next thing is to see, what's going to be RJ's development. I want to see if the Knicks offer him the bag. Usually for the promising fourth-year players, they give them the extra extension at this point in time. The Knicks should follow through. I like to see what's going on with Zion. What's happening with Zion? His shoe came out. You're going to start playing Zion? I want to see how free agency shakes down and who our team is next week. I can't wait for next week's show. And yeah, man, still a lot of things going on, little things going on. Hopefully Brunson is the guy. We've been talking about him, but it could easily be Bradley Beal. It could easily be Zach LaVine. It could be Harden. Who knows?
Trade all the picks for Zion. You packed him, you got him. I'll take that.
And Julius. Free Obi.
Free.
Shout out to my brothers, Coach B, Ed Dollars. Shout out to my beautiful beard. Shout out to
keep that for a year, 1 year. Let me see it.
Shout out to Cliff.
Here's the Daniel. Here's the bet. You let that beard grow out for 1 year. I will grow out a beard for 1 year after you grow your beard out for 1 year.
I have to hold you to that. Shout out to Clearview Daniel, big task ahead for joining us online.
Should have came on the line, Clearview.
Shout out to everybody that was watching tonight, man. Thank y'all for a great show. Tune in next week, where we will talk about the free agency moves that the Knicks have made, as well as moves made throughout and some summer league picks. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about who's got Hall of Fame aspirations just out of the summer league, because that always happens. How many guys we were like that lit up the summer league, and then
Nate Robinson,
and then meant to play. It was just like, what happened? Play against real players. That's what happened. The season he's talking about. But definitely, fellas, great show, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Good times, man.
If you see Wall Street out there, tell him bring his ass to the show.
Pastrami sandwich.
Pastrami sandwich.
He's eating a pastrami.
Hey,
he's growing out a beard.
Fellas, good night, everybody. Take care.